Hi and welcome. Today we are diving into 3 real-life horror stories from the woods. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. The strange death of Elisa Lam's doppelganger, the Yuba County 5, 1978. The story of the Yuba County 5 is one of the most perplexing and haunting unsolved mysteries in American history. Sometimes referred to as the American Dyatlov Pass incident, this case involves the strange and inexplicable disappearance of 5 men with mild intellectual disabilities and mental health issues who vanished in the dense forests of Northern California, only to be discovered in horrifying conditions months later. The disappearance, a simple trip gone wrong. On the evening of February 24, 1978, 5 friends from Yuba City, California, set out on what was supposed to be a fun and routine trip to watch a college basketball game. The men, aged between 24 and 32, were all part of a community recreation program for individuals with mild disabilities. They were deeply passionate about basketball and had an upcoming Special Olympics game they were eagerly looking forward to. After watching the game, they stopped by a local convenience store around 10 p.m. to pick up some snacks and drinks for the ride home. This was the last confirmed sighting of them alive. The next morning, when none of them returned home, their worried families contacted the police. What should have been a simple hour-long drive back had turned into a complete disappearance. The discovery of the abandoned car days later, authorities found their turquoise 1969 Mercury Montego abandoned on a desolate mountain road deep in the Plumas National Forest, nearly 70 miles away from their intended route home. The car was oddly positioned, with no signs of damage, indicating it had been deliberately parked rather than crashed. Strangely, the gas tank was still half full, and there was no reason the men should have been in this location, far from any main roads or familiar areas. The real horror began when footprints were found leading away from the car into the snowy wilderness. The gruesome fate of the men. As winter gave way to spring, search teams scoured the remote forest. In June 1978, 4 of the 5 men were finally found, but their condition was beyond chilling. Ted Wire, one of the men, was discovered inside an abandoned forestry trailer 19 miles away from the car. His emaciated corpse lay under several blankets, weighing just 100 pounds, nearly half his original weight. Strangely, the trailer contained plenty of canned food, yet he had eaten very little of it. He also had a badly frostbitten foot and had wrapped himself in layers of sheets as if he had been trying to stay warm for weeks. The bodies of Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling were found a short distance away, their remains partially devoured by animals. They had seemingly collapsed from exhaustion. Jack Hewitt's bones were discovered scattered in a wooded area, suggesting he had succumbed to the elements or wildlife. But the biggest mystery of all? Gary Mathias, one of the men, was never found. His shoes were discovered inside the trailer, meaning he had ventured out into the snow barefoot. But where did he go? Why was he never found? Theories and unanswered questions. This case is so disturbing because of how unexplainable it is. Why did they drive 70 miles out of their way into a snowy forest? Why did they leave their car when it was still functioning? Why did Ted Wire starve to death inside a trailer with plenty of food? And what happened to Gary Mathias? Some believe they were running from someone or something in the woods. Others suggest they became disoriented, but that doesn't explain why they walked nearly 20 miles into the wilderness instead of turning back. To this day, Gary Mathias remains missing, and the case is still unsolved. The mysterious disappearance of Brandon Swanson, 2008. The disappearance of Brandon Swanson is one of the most unsettling missing persons cases in modern history. Unlike many other disappearances, we actually have a real-time account of Brandon's last moments, thanks to a 47-minute phone call he had with his father while he was walking through the darkness of the woods. The night of the disappearance. On the night of May 14, 2008, 19-year-old Brandon Swanson, a college student in Marshall, Minnesota, attended a party with friends to celebrate the end of the semester. Around midnight, he decided to drive home, a journey that should have been simple. At 1:54 a.m., he called his parents, saying he had accidentally driven his car into a ditch on an unfamiliar gravel road. He was uninjured, but he wasn't sure where he was. His father, Brian Swanson, told him to stay put while he and his mother drove out to pick him up. But when they arrived at the location Brandon described, he wasn't there. Brandon, increasingly frustrated, insisted that he could see lights from a nearby town and would walk toward them to meet his parents. He stayed on the phone with his father the entire time, describing his surroundings as he walked through fields and wooded areas. His voice remained calm until everything changed. The chilling final words. At 2:30 a.m., after 47 minutes on the phone, Brandon suddenly shouted in panic, "Oh, shh!" And then, silence. His father repeatedly called his name, but there was no response. The call remained connected for a few seconds before dropping. The bizarre search. The next morning, search teams found Brandon's car abandoned, but nowhere near where he thought he was. His last known location, determined by his phone signal, placed him miles away from where he had described. Tracking dogs picked up his scent, leading to the edge of the Yellow Medicine River, but no body was ever found. Theories and unsettling possibilities. Many believe he may have fallen into the river and drowned, but the river wasn't very deep, and no body was ever recovered. Others think he ran into something in the woods, something he was so terrified of that his last words were a desperate cry of fear. Was it an animal, a hidden sinkhole, or something even stranger? To this day, Brandon Swanson's body has never been found, and his last words remain a haunting mystery. The mysterious staircases in the woods. Among the strangest and most disturbing phenomena reported by hikers, park rangers, and search and rescue teams are the mysterious staircases that appear deep in the woods, leading to nowhere. The unsettling phenomenon. Scattered across forests worldwide, these staircases vary in appearance. Some look ancient and crumbling, while others appear pristine, as if they had just been built. They don't connect to any buildings, and there's no logical reason for them to be there. The stories and warnings. One park ranger recounted how a new recruit climbed one of the staircases and immediately vanished for hours. When he reappeared, he was disoriented and terrified, with no memory of where he had been. Others report feeling watched near these staircases, hearing whispers or seeing shadowy figures lurking nearby. Some who climb them report getting violently sick or experiencing disturbing visions. One particularly horrifying story involves a hiker who disappeared after stepping onto a staircase. His friends watched in horror as he climbed to the top, then vanished into thin air. Theories and unanswered questions. Are they leftover ruins from forgotten civilizations, portals to another dimension, or perhaps something far more sinister? One thing remains consistent in every report. Do not climb the stairs in the woods. Thanks for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Sleep tight.